All right, let's talk about drawing birds. Today, we are going to break down how anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn to draw these amazing character-filled creatures. If you've ever looked out your window and wished you could sketch the little birds you see, then this is for you. We're about to uncover a super simple secret that makes it all click. So let me ask you a question. Does the whole idea of drawing a bird feel a little, well, impossible? If you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you are not alone. It's a really common hurdle for pretty much everyone starting out. So let's just get into that feeling for a second. Why does it seem so hard? It's not just in your head, you know. There are some very real, very valid reasons why trying to capture a bird on paper can feel like this monumental task. I mean, first off, they're always zipping around, right? They never sit still. And then you've got the feathers, which look impossibly complex, and an anatomy that just seems intimidating. All of that stuff adds up, and it creates this totally understandable fear of messing it up. But what if we could just bypass all of that? Well, here's the good news. The secret to drawing birds isn't about getting every single one of those details right. Not at all. We're going to completely shift our focus and use a method that just sidesteps all those difficulties. And that secret is simple shapes. Yep, that's it. That's the whole thing. This is the fundamental idea that unlocks everything else. It's how we're going to stop seeing all that overwhelming detail and start seeing the simple, easy structure that's hiding underneath. And this brings us to a really important idea. We're aiming for essence over realism. Look, the goal here is not to create a perfect photograph. It's to capture the vibe, the character, the personality of a bird. Once you embrace that idea, all the pressure just melts away. So what are these magic shapes? Just two. All you need to get started is a circle for the head and an oval for the body. Seriously, you can break down almost any bird you can think of into just this pair. This is our foundation for everything else we're about to do. Okay, got those two shapes in your mind? A circle and an oval? Awesome. Let's start building our first bird step by step. And just look at how powerful those two simple shapes can be. For a little sparrow, you use a small circle and a kind of long, thin oval. For a big, plump pigeon, you just make those shapes bigger and rounder. Even changing the angle where they connect can make the bird look alert or more relaxed. See how that works? Now we just build right on top of that foundation. And again, we're only using simple shapes. A little triangle, boom, that's the beak. A simple rhombus shape, that becomes the tail. And just like that, you can already see it, can't you? A bird is starting to take form. Okay, next up, wings and legs. Now, for the wings, here's the key. Forget about individual feathers. Seriously, don't even think about them. All you need are a few simple, flowing lines that follow the curve of the body. And the legs? They're literally just two little sticks. That's it. We're capturing the idea, not a perfect anatomical chart. And now, for what might just be the most powerful part of this whole process, a single dot for the eye. Just watch how its placement completely changes the bird's personality. If you put it high on the head, it looks curious. In the center, it's calm. A little low and forward, and it looks focused. Isn't that wild? One tiny mark gives it its entire personality. Okay, our line drawing is done, and it's looking great. Now for the really fun part. Let's bring our little bird to life with some color. And you don't need 100 different shades for this. Just start with the bird's main color, like a simple brown for a sparrow. Here's a great little trick. Apply it unevenly. That immediately creates a kind of feather-like texture. Then just add a slightly darker shade under the wing and the belly. That simple shadow is what gives the drawing depth and makes your bird pop right off the page. All right, you've totally mastered the basics. Now let's dive into a few simple pro tips that are going to add that extra little spark of personality and life to your drawings. One of the absolute fastest ways to add a little realism is with a pop of color on the beak and legs. You know, a finch might have a pinkish beak, while a starling has a bright yellow one. These tiny, specific details are what can make a generic bird drawing suddenly feel like a real, recognizable species. Oh, this is one of my favorite tips. A black bird is never just black. I mean, if you look really closely at a crow or a raven in the sunlight, you'll see these incredible shimmers of blue and purple. So when you go to color, don't just grab the black pencil, mix in a little dark blue or some purple to capture that beautiful iridescent sheen. And finally, don't let your bird just float in empty space. Give it a world to live in. Just adding a simple branch for it to sit on or a few leaves nearby gives your drawing context. It transforms it from a simple sketch into a little moment, a tiny story, and it makes the whole thing feel complete. So there you have it, a complete, super simple system for drawing any bird you can imagine. Now, it's over to you. So let's do a super quick recap of your 6-step guide. 1. Start with a circle and an oval. 2. Add the beak and tail to build the silhouette. 3. Draw the flow of the wings. 4. Place that all-important eye to create personality. 5. Use color and shadow for depth. And 6. Add those little details in a background. That's the whole method. And as you get started, please remember this. The point is not to draw perfectly. The point is to enjoy the process, to have fun observing and creating. It's all about the joy of bringing these little creatures to life on your page. So the only question left is, what bird will you bring to life first? A robin? A blue jay? Maybe that little sparrow that's always hopping around outside your window? Go grab a pencil, have some fun, and see what you can create.